Hey, what's up, guys? Coming out with that video. And today I'm going to do my What If series. What if Naruto was a girl, part 8. So, in the last part, in part 7, there, we see, technically, uh, mostly they did the second rounds of the junior exams. There are technically the fighting round, technically the tournament there and stuff like that. So, um, are the second part of the training exams where they actually had to fight. Mostly, everybody actually has their thing there. Mostly it plays out like in the original series and stuff like that. Until we get to Narco, uh, Narcos and Kiva's fight there. Technically, Kiva was technically making fun of her and stuff like that. So the fight begins there. Technically, Narco was technically taking him on there and stuff like that. Technically, she was technically getting pushed there by Kiba there and stuff like that. Mostly him using his fatal fame there and stuff like that happening and stuff. Mostly when she was technically getting pushed there and stuff like that. Mostly Narco uses her Shadow Clone Jutsu there, knocking Kiba up in the air and stuff like that. When she was technically knocking Kiba up in the air. She did her Uzumaki Mirage there, smashing Q in the ground there, and he was not done with it there. And mostly Naruto technically kicked him right there where it counts there, so he fucking goes down and stuff like that. And the winner technically was Naruto. So, and then all the other fights were technically played out the same there and stuff like that. Um, so I, so all the other fights there played out the same and stuff like that. When all the fights played out the same, they said, "Good luck in the second round." There, so Naruto was technically taking on um, Neji. There, she was technically taking on Neji there and stuff like that. And she also said something about she's gonna when technically when Hinata was technically fighting Neji there, and she said she was gonna about to win there, and that's what happens. So, when technically they go to the hospital where Sasuke was generally getting healed there and stuff like that. Mostly, mostly Akashi was gonna train Sasuke there and stuff like that. That's what that was gonna still gonna happen there and stuff like that. Um, Mostly Akashi, um, or Naruto was like saying, "Well, I'm gonna get it," stuff like that and stuff, and she's like, and then Akashi's like, "Calm down, Naruto," and mostly and then the guy with glasses, he's like, "That would be me," and then she's like, "Oh no, not the pervert there," and stuff like that. So and then Akashi's like, "What the fuck you called him?" and mostly and then she's like, "He's a pervert, man." So he's like, "Oh, that's okay." Then he touches her hair and stuff like that. And she's like, "Get off of me, you pervert," and stuff like that. She's like, "Oh my," and stuff like that. He's like, he's like, "You don't want me to teach you," and stuff. And that's what he was saying there and stuff like that for it. And he's like, and then and Nakashi walks away and he's like, "This is your best Naruto," and stuff like that. So technically, he did the 5 second head start there. He's like, he's like, "Well, I can make Kashi make your as your teacher there if you out thing there and stuff like that." So she's like, "Later, sucker." So technically, he chases her down, mostly catches her and stuff like that. She's like, "How you catch me?" and stuff like that. And she's like, "I know your tricks there." Mostly they go to the hot springs there, mostly because of the mark there. He was telling her to do water thing there. She kept falling in because of the mark or because of the Orochimaru seal there is interfering with the Narco's chakra there, and of course Nine Tails chakra. So she kept falling in there and stuff like that. And then we see there he's like, "Why you spying on the woman?" And he's like, "Keep it down. You want to get us caught." So he grab. So technically he's like, "I don't." He's like, "I don't want you spying on the woman," and he slams the guy with the glasses down, and then Naruto's like, "Well, you knocked down my teacher there," and stuff like that. And then he's like, "Oh, you're a cutie," and then he's like, "I'm the Master Jiraiya," and so he does his intro there and stuff like that. And he's like, "Later, kid," and stuff like that. And then she's like, "Oh, I need to follow him and stuff." So technically, that was in part 8 or 7 there. So it was going to part 8 there. So here he goes. So Naruto technically was following Jiraiya there and stuff like that. That still happens there and stuff. Technically she was technically following him all day. Jiraiya was technically getting away from her and stuff like that. And he's like, mostly putting her in the urn thing. She's like, God damn it! She's like, get me out of here and stuff like that. She's like, then he's like, later, kid, and stuff like that. And then mostly that still happens there, like in the original series there, until they when he's saying the woman there and stuff like that, and Arco comes in, she's like, you pervert and stuff like that, and then all the ladies he's like, oh my god, you're a pervert. So they fucking leave there and shit like that. He's like, oh, come on, and stuff like that. He's like, oh, you got my interest, kid, so what do you want and stuff. That's what Dry was saying. She's like, you need to train me and stuff like that. And he like, give me something there. He wants a lady there. Technically, Narco comes back with a watermelon there, and then he's like, you idiot. And then mostly he technically chops up the watermelon and gives it to her and stuff like that, like he did with Naruto in the original series there and stuff like that. He's like, that's not the one I was been asking for, but okay, we can have it and stuff. But and then she's like, oh, you want a girl there and stuff like that. So Naruto did her sexy jutsu there, mostly making the older version of her there and stuff like that. And then he's like, oh yeah, perfect 10 and stuff like that, and he still does that like in the original series. And he's like, okay, you got me to train you and stuff like that. So mostly, he's like, okay, let's test the water technique there. So they did the water technique there and stuff like that. Technically, they go to the lake there and stuff like that. And mostly Naruto kept going in, and then he's like, she's like, you need to make your chakra more thing. She's like, I'm trying and stuff like that. So she kept fucking falling in and stuff like that. When she technically kept falling in, and he's like, and then mostly he's like, okay, Naruto, technically, let me see something there. He's like, remove your like jacket and thing there. She's like, wait, what? No, I don't want to do that. That's you. That's a perfect way. And then he's like, just lift up your shirt there. And he's like, I want to see something. So technically, Naruto technically lifts up her shirt there, and then he kind of feels it there. She's like, this is the seal the fourth Hokage did there with the Stone of the Nine Tails inside of her and stuff like that. And then he's like, what's this extra seal there? It's in her. This might just got recently placed added there. So he does his Pride Prom seal there, hits her, he's like, Pride Prom seal, and she's like, ugh, and stuff like that. Naruto goes flying into the thing. And then he's like, try it out, Naruto. Try the water technique. So she technically did there and stuff like that. And she technically walked on water. She's like, yeah, I finally did it there and stuff like that. And he's like, okay. He's like, now I'm gonna teach her how to do the Fox's chakra there. So mostly when Naruto technically did it there, Jiraiya told like Naruto like did Naruto in the original series there, waste up all your chakra there. So technically, Naruto, she's like, okay, I can do that. She's like, Shadow Clone Jutsu or Multi Shadow Clone Jutsu, mostly making 1,000 clones there. She's like, listen up here. Let's see who's the best of me and stuff like that. So they technically all the Narcos, clone Narcos are technically fighting there and stuff like that. Technically, she was technically the last one standing there. She's like, yes, I'm the best one of them all. And she's like, she kind of got a little bit dazed there. Drake captures her and she's like, okay, now I want you to you waste up your regular chakra now. Turn this, get this other chakra out and stuff like that. And then she was explaining. She's like, one time that there, this chakra there was different there, and it was mostly red and stuff like that. And then mostly, and then he's like, yeah, I want you to use that red chakra there. That's what um, Jiraiya was saying to Naruto there. And then she was trying to use it there, and she's like, I can't do it and stuff like that. And then mostly, technically he made her sign the summoning paper there, so she can actually have the Toad summoning thing. So technically she signed the contract there, and then she tried to do the summoning jutsu. Technically it doesn't really work. She summons the tadpole like Naruto did in the original series, and then he's like, tadpole, what the fuck, and stuff like that. And she's like, I can try it and stuff like that, and believe it and stuff. And then technically, all that stuff happens there, like in the original series. With technically, she tried to summons it there to always get a tadpole there, but she got closer every time, and stuff like that when she was doing her training and stuff like that. So they, so mostly to make the fox chakra became more thing there, so they go to the edge, and technically Jiraiya technically knocks over Naruto, or pushes Naruto into the edge there, and he's like, well, I'm sorry I had to do this to you, but I have to do it. She's like, stuff like that, how I can do this and stuff like that, and she's falling into the thing there, and she mostly sees the image of the fox there, the Nine-Tails fox, and he's like, what the fuck? He's like, what are you doing, brat? And stuff like that. she's like, you're the Nine-Tailed Fox and stuff like that. He's like, what are you doing here and stuff like that. She's like, well, Fox, you're inside of me now. She's like, you're inside of me, so you need to listen up here and stuff like that. He's like, well, I will give you my chakra there. And so technically he builds up the chakra there, and then she's like, summoning jutsu, and summons the Chief Toad, and he's like, what the fuck? The Chief Toad is like, the Chief Toad is fucking pissed at this point. He's like, God damn it, Jiraiya. He's like, God damn it, Jiraiya. You summoned me in this fucking trench, didn't you? And then he's like, oh fuck, I'm out of here before I might get killed by that. And then Naruto is like saying, I summoned you and stuff like that. And he's like, you summoned me? A little shrimp there. She's like, hey, I'm trying to do my best here and stuff. So technically, she's like, if I can say on your head there, Naruto was actually saying that I can say on your head, you have to obey me. And he's like, okay. He's trying to buck her off, like in the original series, like what Naruto did and stuff. But she technically hang on. And he's like, technically, he's like, he's not going to do that for long. Mostly him trying to buck her off and stuff like that. It took a while to technically buck her off and stuff. So that one's all that happens there and stuff like that. And he's like, and then she technically got worn out, and technically, Jiraiya came to save the day there, and he's like, I need to take her into the hospital. So technically, Jiraiya takes, like the Chief Toad puts her right in front of the hospital, like she did in the original series there. So when that was going on with that stuff there, she's technically resting in the hospital there and stuff like that. And then technically the guys with the glasses was saying something to Jiraiya, saying, we need a leader there. And he's like, you're mostly the better teacher than me, Master Jiraiya. You need to take care of it. And he's like, and he's mostly concerned about what's actually going to happen there with Naruto there. I can't really explain until much later, but and he's like, well, I can do it there, stuff like that. So, and that's pretty much where the what if technically ends there. I know this one was technically a shorter what if, but technically, the next one there, we finally will go to the the second rounds of the second rounds of the premium rounds. That we go into the premium rounds in the next part there. So yep. Comment, rate, and responsive to its mirrors. If you like more videos, please subscribe. Hit the notification on single uploads. Comment responsive to its mirrors. If you like hanging out, peace.